Well, hello, I'm Alex, and today I've got an idea for making zines. So you can use this simple zine format to develop a daily practice. It's small, it's little, you can take it with you anywhere you go. It's perfect for prompts, and it's perfect for when you don't have time. You know how I'm always saying, it's easy to spend a few minutes a day in creative play. I'm sure some of you are like, well, it's easy for you to say you're an artist. So, I'm making these videos for you to take play breaks with me. This is your creativity timeout, baby. Just grab whatever supplies you have on hand, work alongside me, don't worry. I'm keeping this no fuss fabulous, easy peasy. Go ahead, check it out. Today I'm going to tell you all about daily play with zines and doodling. So if you recall in the last video when I talked about zines and ink blots, the idea is that you set yourself up the first day and then you have the rest of the week to just spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes doodling into what you've already set up. So let me show you what I mean by that. Your setup for day one is always going to be to have a folded zine ready to go on whatever paper you want. If there are ideas for using different kinds of paper, I'll let you know. But for today, just a white piece of paper. I happen to have a cream piece of paper. Just a regular piece of paper folded into a zine is all you need. And what we're going for, and I'm just going to show you an example here, what we're going for is something that looks like this in the end, where you come in every day and you color one page. That's it. And we're not really coloring, we're doodling, although you could take it a step further. Coloring in and of itself takes a lot of time, so this is more about adding doodles. And I've got a video called Doodling Between the Lines, which will be really helpful to give you ideas if you want to go back and look at that. But let's just start from the beginning here. So once you've got your zine, I actually need you to open it and lay it flat. So this is your zine. Let's go like this. Let's open it and lay it flat here. And what I want you to do is to fill it with shapes that you can then add some lines and then doodle with your color markers or your color pencils or whatever your favorite coloring tool is. You're going to be doodling in the spaces between the lines. So it's called Doodling Between the Lines. And your day one setup would be to fold your zine and then to open it up. And now we're going to I'm going to use a black permanent marker. You can use a pen. This was done with a black ballpoint pen. You can use a pencil. And we just want to add a bunch of stuff randomly. So I suggest you take anything that's easy to trace that will give you some nice circles. And, oh, it looks like this glass is chipped. Ha ha ha. So that's going to show up every time. And what we're looking for is these overlaps, because it's the overlaps that are fun to color in, right? They give us interesting shapes to color in. Not color in, I keep saying coloring in. To doodle inside of. Whether or not you color it in is going to be completely up to you. Some people find coloring in a bit tedious, so I wanted to give you an option where you don't have to color in. You're adding lots of color. It's definitely colorful, but you're not coloring it in. You know, there's a reason why those coloring books stress some people out, because it's just a lot to finish one. So again, this is where the zine format couldn't be more perfect, because you're just doing one page of your zine a day. You're never gonna feel like you need to spend 2 hours to finish the damn thing, right? Okay, so how about I leave that as like that. And then another thing you can do is just trace your hand. So that's always a good shape to add lines to. We'll do the lines in just a second. Right now we're getting our shapes down. And maybe this is what I worked on in that other video I mentioned called Doodling Between the Lines. So you could add a word or just a bunch of random lines. So I think we did a lot of the random lines here. So how about we add a word? Now if you want to be able to actually read the word, you're going to want to think about what it looks like when it's folded. So I would, but you know, I wouldn't really worry about that too much. So I'm going to add the word, or let's see, what could I do? Just to pick up on what I did in that other video. You could see how it works in this format as well. And then how about we do some hearts? Maybe I can do, this is a big space here. Or maybe I'll just do some random hearts. Maybe I'll do a star. I could also do flower. We're just looking for something that has an outline to it, that's a shape that we can color in. And then I don't know what I'll do here. Let's see what happens. So very quickly, the way you add lines to this is you just break up the shapes into lines. Okay, so this is pretty much already broken up because of the overlap, so we don't need to do much there. But maybe you want to come in here and, let's see, add a few lines like that. Maybe you want some lines here, and maybe on this one. Okay, so I've added lines to all of those. I think that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to come in here and just add some random lines so that when I want to doodle, I have space to doodle. Okay, and then the flower itself, circle here and go around the circle. The star, I'll probably just doodle one thing inside that. And even with the hand here, I think I'll start with a circle and doodle around the circle like that. And then when I get here, I can put these lines that go across. So don't forget, your setup is 10 or 15 minutes the first day. You're not going to do anything else except for this. So if you've done this, if you see some blank areas, just repeat one of your shapes. That'll be a nice, easy way to fill that. Okay. And let's see. Since I did this, since I've got these petals going on, I'm just going to add one more thing. petals to that circle. Oh, and look, I left the thumb without any lines. So yeah, this is your setup one, is just to prepare your page. And then you fold it however you want to fold it. You can turn it any which way. You're going to end up with 8 pages. You can leave one of them with just the lines, which is kind of fun because then the rest of it has colors. So then your day 2 through 7, if you're doing this as a weekly practice, you'd come in here and you would just add doodles. And what I always recommend is that you cover up the page you don't need to do. You grab your coffee or your tea. You've just set yourself up for 10 minutes of doodling. I'm actually gonna maybe put a little piece of paper behind and a piece of paper so you don't look at that. And now you grab your colors and you just start doodling. So going back to that other video that I mentioned again, this is like an index of shapes that you can repeat, but it could be as simple as just repeating the same shape over and over again. So what if on day 1 you're not feeling inspired to come up with shapes, but you're willing to do some stripes? So then you could come in and just decide where you can add your stripes. Maybe as you get going, you'll come up with more ideas, but for right now, you've said, I only want stripes. And I'm going to put my stripes in all different colors. Let's see. I went through my stash of markers and updated what I use. So I should have some fun colors today. Like this green is very pretty. Okay. Maybe you get inspired and you're like, okay, I think I'm gonna add more than just straight lines. I'm gonna add some lines with curves. So you see, it's just fill it in, have fun with it, and keep it to that one page. Maybe you get fancy and you decide to do some hatching. Wow, what would that look like? There you go. Let's see. What happens if I do this like this? And I just go in and do big swoops of color now. I did a zigzag. Really fancy now, and I'm gonna do some scallops around this one. What if I decided to add some dots? As you can see, I'm not gonna be able to just stick to stripes. Sometimes when you're super minimal, it makes for the coolest results. It gets the coolest results. So don't feel like you need to do anything you're not up for. I think I'm about done for day 1. I don't know. It would depend on how much time I have. I also love using highlighters, so maybe I could go in here and add some extra color to some of these areas. Let's see, I think I've got another one here. So, and then I think I need something else here. I'm gonna have to repeat a color. I'll just repeat pink. Something like that. And maybe even in here, what could I do? You can actually you could actually draw a shape too. So what if I came in here and I put these tiny hearts? Okay, so that could be day 1. So do you see how that could be really fun? That's day 1. And then you could just continue. So look, this worked out really well because I got the high in the center here where I can see. But that's just, I got lucky. Don't worry about the word showing up in any particular way. It could even be upside down. Maybe it shows up like this and that's fine. So we went from setting ourselves up on day 1 and then coming in and doing 1 page. And I went ahead and did an example of what 7 days of coming in could look like. So that's pretty cool, right? You don't have to do the cover, but in the end it's 8 pages. So I don't know if that means it's 8 days for you or you just break it down so that you finish it in 7 days. Well, if your first day is a setup, then that would mean all of this would happen in 6 days. I don't think it's hard to do. Once you get going, it's super fast. Especially if you're not coloring in, you can keep it really basic. All right. Okay, I hope you had fun taking this tiny play break with me. Be honest, it was super easy. You know, when it comes to your creativity, it's never about what you're making. It's about how you feel while you're making it, right? Okay, I've got lots more videos on my YouTube channel here, so subscribe, stay tuned, play. Come back and get your daily dose of make stuff feel good energy. Thank you so much for being here, and sparkle on.